were you watching the Oscars last night when the slap heard around the world happened?
So I happen to be I'm in North Florida right now, which is lovely. And I happen to be watching the Oscars at a friend's house. And we just turned it on, and sure enough, I only watched maybe, 45 minutes of the Oscars overall, and the slap happened. So for anybody who missed it, which would be hard because it is on many websites. I mean, it's basically either Ukraine or the slap are the two big.
Yes.
Which is pretty amazing. One is a massive war in Europe with a nuclear armed power, and the other is someone getting slapped in the face. So there's a reason we opened with Biden and Ukraine first here, just to be very clear, and what's going on in this country with the regime failing on so many levels. But now there is a lot of debate around this incident. I think originally people were saying it was faked. I don't think anyone believes it. I shouldn't say anyone. I think the consensus now, such as it is that this was a real slap, at least.
Yes.
So he did hit him. The absolute worst take on it was from a CNN analyst who said that this is basically what you get because of Trump, which
which is so predictable and
which
perfect
was amazing.
and amazing.
But I mean, so Clay, this is where you get into. I think this is very straightforward. You have a comedian who's being paid to do his job, which is to make fun of, make jokes and make fun of people. He made a joke. Will Smith didn't like it. Will Smith is totally within his rights and legal and otherwise to shout out, that he didn't think this was funny, to go up to Chris Rock after he's on stage and say, don't say that's not funny, or you should apologize or whatever. To walk up on stage and strike somebody, again, I know there are people saying, Buck, it was fake. I looked at it a lot. I don't think it was, he definitely hit him. So now you're just saying, why would Will Smith, among the most famous movie actors in the world, he doesn't need publicity, folks. This whole thing
on
about
a day that he's potentially going to win the Oscar,
too. The storyline doesn't add up. I mean, I think he lost his temper. He went up and he hit this guy in the face. But it's amazing to see how many people, Clay, were like, yeah, that's what you do. And I'm kind of sitting here like, no. I understand the impulse.
In the event that people didn't hear it, we've got a couple of cuts here. Here is, I believe we have the joke and then the reaction. I think this is 17. Let's listen to this.
Play
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? that was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Will Smith just smacked the out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
I'm going to, okay? That was greatest night in the history of television.
By the way,
so crazy.
Big respect, I have to say, just to the fact that Chris Rock kind of kept going afterwards. Because look, I think there's many layers to this. I mean, people were looking at the photos. This was almost like a Oliver Stone JFK movie or something, where everyone's looking at the different angles of every video and
film.
Everybody was trying to figure out, did he really hit him? Did he really? One thing is, Clay, if someone walks up to you on the street and they're being aggressive, I think that's a little bit more. You're more ready. He's at the Oscars on stage doing his job. If somebody walked in here and I knew who they were and I was doing my radio, I'd be like, hey, nice to see you. I would not expect they would slap me in the face doing my job. So I think that it's also additionally uncalled for, considering it was in a professional setting. It's not even like this was just two guys in the street having a dispute.
Yeah, and Chris Rock managed to take the slap and actually deliver the documentary. I don't think Chris Rock has said anything since. Will Smith, amazingly, and this is where I really think it becomes such an intriguing discussion, he goes up on stage, he assaults a comedian, and let's be clear about this. What is this, like the 60th Oscar celebration, the 100th, whatever the heck it is? It's been going on for a long time. And that's what the job of a comedian is. They show up and they make jokes at the expense of the famous celebrities who are sitting down in the crowd. And Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, is a famous celebrity as well. So it's not like she's a civilian in the sense of, oh, well, nobody knows who she is, so he's picking on the wife. And even if he were, the idea that you would go up on stage and hit someone because of what you don't like the joke that they've made. I don't know how many people in our audience, they're not most people famous, but everybody, a large percentage, I would think, have been to a comedy club at some point and if you go to a comedy club and you sit down near the front of the stage, it's oftentimes the case that the comedian will pick out something and have some fun with people down close, even if you're not famous. We'll play the Will Smith reaction because he goes on and he wins Best Actor. This should be a crowning moment for his career, Buck. But they don't do anything to him. I can't think of any other public venue where you could assault a performer, go back down to your seat, stay there, nobody does anything to you, and then when he wins the Best Actor, everybody gives him a standing ovation like he didn't just assault the comedian on the stage. You
would think that security would have. First of all, where was the security? And I mean, this guy just walks up on the stage. I mean, and does this. But you would think that they would at least escort him out of the venue, or escort him to a viewing area outside where this had just occurred. But no, he's Will Smith. He's up for the best. He won the Best Actor award for it was King Richard, right? Was the movie?
Yeah, where he's playing Richard Williams, who is the
we'll
father
come back on
of
this
the
because
tennis players.
There were, just for those of you saying, Buck, don't come on, it's Hollywood, who cares? There are members of Congress who were saying, yeah, that's right, get up there and hit him. No, that's not right. Actually, that's not a civilized thing to do. That's not how we operate in this country.
It's crazy. The slap heard around the world. We're closing out hour number 1 talking about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock last night at the Oscars because he did not like a joke. Nothing happens to Will Smith. Talk about privilege. He goes back, sits in his front row seat, wins the Oscar for his portrayal of Richard Williams, who's the father of Venus and Serena Williams, gets up and kind of gives a rambling, tearful speech celebrating his Oscar win. This is what it sounded like.
I want to apologize to the Academy. I want to apologize to all my fellow nominees. This is a beautiful moment. Art imitates life. I look like the crazy father, just like they said. I look like crazy father, just like they said about Richard Williams. But love will make you do crazy things.
So, Buck, my thing here is I'm married. I got a wife. Will Smith looked psychologically unstable. And the fact that some people are normalizing a comedian making a joke, which wasn't even that aggressive of a joke, but if you've ever watched any of these award shows, these Hollywood celebrities do need to be ridiculed and mocked. In fact, Ricky Gervais, I think, should be the host for every single award show because he's actually willing to puncture the narcissism that is so readily apparent in those rooms. I bet you love Ricky Gervais at these things, too.
I mean, that
right?
was the most, and Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes was the most entertaining MC. I don't know if there's ever been a more entertaining MC at any event on TV that I could think of. I mean, it was remarkable. And then, but that's also why for everybody who's going to say, but you got to stand up for your wife. No one's saying don't stand up for your wife. When I say no one, my claim here would not be you can't stand up for your wife. Not at all. Will Smith shouting out stuff, fine. Will Smith going up to Chris Rock, after this thing and having a man-to-man with him, fine. This is not some guy saying something to your wife at a bar. These are two multimillionaire celebrities who are in a professional setting where one of them is paid to make jokes and is in that context. And if you don't like it, you're, of course, allowed to, when I say allowed, I think you have every right to say something. But to those who are saying, he did the right thing, okay, Will Smith's a big guy. What if he had gone up there and taken a full-on swing? He open hand slapped him. He catches him off guard. He catches him unaware like that with a closed fist. Could have broken his nose right there on stage. Could have knocked him out, okay?
And they would have had to stop. They would have had to stop the performance. Yeah, and the other thing is, Buck, he wouldn't have done that if it had been a bigger guy like The Rock. Every now and then host performances. if The Rock had come out and made that joke, he ain't walking up on the stage and open hand slapping The Rock. And let me also say this. Will Smith is a comedian, right? So he should understand more than some of the other serious actors who may consider themselves to be complete artists. He understands, or should understand, comedy in a way that others should not. We got a bunch of people who want to weigh in, not surprisingly.
Okay, let's go. I know people are fired up on this. I get it.
No doubt. Who should we go to first? Let's go to Michael in Florida.
Hey, guys. Look, I really do like the show, so just take this. It's coming from a good spot. You're spending time talking about a guy who wanted exactly what you're giving him. He knew. He walked up. You were right. If it was The Rock or somebody, he wouldn't have gone up there. But he knew, even if it was, he knows there's not going to be any repercussions. To go up there and slap a smaller guy and then, no, nothing's going to happen to him. Nobody's going to swing back at him. He did it because he wants everybody talking about him, and he's getting exactly what he wants.
See, I disagree.
Yeah.
I disagree with this. I understand that argument. I think Will Smith lost his cool, and to me, this is the logical extension, Buck, of the world we've created where we treat speech as violence, and so we allow people to respond violently towards someone who says something mean to you, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't even to him. This is the logical extension of words are violence. Now,
Will Smith was about
response.
to get the Best Actor award at the Oscars. I don't think that he planned out some
He doesn't need
publicity stunt. He doesn't need.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of. This would be like Tom Cruise with a publicity stunt. Like these people don't. They have all the publicity they could ever imagine, and then some. And Will Smith's case in particular, he's sitting in the front row. He's about to get an Oscar. I think the guy had a bit of a meltdown. I think that's pretty apparent. And I think that Chris Rock also. I mean, Clay, I've seen people get punched and hit before.
Yes.
Chris Rock responded the way people like he was in shock. Like that did not look like acting.
Well,
to me.
he thought, I think, if you watch him, Buck, I think what he anticipated was that Will Smith, who is a comedian, was coming up on stage to do something funny. It was weird that he got up on stage in the first place. By the way, I'd like to hear from some women, like in the audience. What did you guys think about this? And also, Buck, there's so many crazy angles on this. Can you imagine if it had been a white comedian? Can you imagine if it had been a white guy walking up, like you said off air, if Bradley Cooper walks up and smacks Chris Rock because he doesn't like the joke that he makes? The conversation spirals wildly out of control from there.